Well, okay then. It is time for another plot. This time I'm taking you underwater into Bikini Bottom. And we're going to talk about two very popular SpongeBob movies. Starting with the classic, the SpongeBob SquarePants movie. And the next one is not quite a movie, but it is long enough to be a movie. The Truth or Square. So we'll start with the original movie. So this starts out with a band of pirates on a pirate ship. One of them it's one of their shipmates on a small boat heading towards them with the treasure chest. And when he comes back with that chest, the captain opens the chest and reveals that it has tickets to the SpongeBob SquarePants movie. And the pirates enthusiastically ride their ship to the theater and watch the movie. Then we get into Bikini Bottom, where Eugene Krabs and everyone of Bikini Bottom is huddled around the Krusty Krab as a midlife crisis is ensuing. There's police everywhere. Everyone's frightened to the core. But then SpongeBob appears and walks in to settle the situation. Apparently the customer ordered a Krabby Patty with cheese, but when he took a bite, no cheese. SpongeBob came in and fixed that. He applied cheese to the burger and he fixed everything. Only for that to be a dream. Today was going to be the day that Mr. Krabs was going to open the Krusty Krab 2. Where SpongeBob would hopefully become the new manager, as he's been dreaming of that for years. So SpongeBob gets himself ready. And when he gets there, he's like enthusiastic as he's waiting for Mr. Krabs to give out the answer of who the new manager is going to be. And Mr. Krabs, being the horrible cheapskate that he is, he instead chooses as the pathetic and slightly mean cashier Squidward Tentacles to be the manager, explaining to SpongeBob that he's just a kid. And that hurts SpongeBob, because I feel like to SpongeBob, being called a kid is like being called fat. As he's too immature to handle the job. Fully depressed, SpongeBob heads towards the Goofy Goober ice cream parlor, where he just sobs at the nut bar. Then Patrick shows up, asks SpongeBob what's wrong, and he explains that he didn't get the promotion because Mr. Krabs thinks he's a kid. That upset Patrick to another level. And to help SpongeBob get over it, he and Patrick overindulge in some ice cream that gets them extremely drunk. It's like they spiked that ice cream with alcohol. That's how drunk they got. Meanwhile, Mr. Krabs' rival Plankton is going through his filing cabinet of evil plans from A to Y, unaware that Plan Z exists, that he has never done before. So he takes a look at Plan Z, which involves stealing King Neptune's crown, sending it to Shell City, and framing Mr. Krabs for the crime. And he does just that. He travels to King Neptune's castle, steals his crown, and sends it to Shell City. And King Neptune the next day confronts Krabs about his stolen crown at the Krusty Krab 2, becoming further convicted of his guilt when SpongeBob, feeling the effects of the previous night, smears him then immediately he regrets what's going on, and after King Neptune zaps Mr. Krabs with his sword. Immediately feeling the regret, SpongeBob offers to retrieve the crown from Shell City himself. Neptune freezes Mr. Krabs and orders SpongeBob to return within 6 days, or Krabs will be executed. Then Neptune's daughter Mindy encourages SpongeBob to go, but warns him of a dangerous Cyclops that lurks near Shell City. SpongeBob and Patrick take the offer and head for Shell City in the Patty Wagon. It's a car that's shaped just like a Krabby Patty that's stored underneath the restaurant. Immediately upon leaving Bikini Bottom and heading towards the county line, they are carjacked. Then they follow the thieves on foot to a dive bar, where they find the Patty Wagon in the parking lot, but somehow their key is missing. So they have no choice to go into this dive bar and find the key. While there, they cause a scene by blowing bubbles in the bathroom, prompting the owner of the bar to gather up everyone to see who the real bubble blowing baby is. So, the DJ plays the Goofy Goober theme song and see who is gonna crack. And SpongeBob and Patrick got really close to cracking, but someone else in the dive bar beat them to it. And SpongeBob and Patrick managed to escape with the car, as Patrick managed to get the key on the way out. Meanwhile, with Mr. Krabs frozen, Plankton is able to steal the Krabby Patty formula finally. And he used it to sell Krabby Patties at the Chum Bucket, where he gives away free helmets that brainwash customers into doing Plankton's biddings. He subsequently takes over Bikini Bottom and renames it Planktopolis, hiring a hitman named Dennis to prevent SpongeBob from returning with the crown. SpongeBob and Patrick come across a hazardous trench. They lose the Patty Wagon once again and consider giving up. Then Mindy appears and gives them encouragement by applying fake mustaches made of seaweed, making them believe she magically transformed them from kids into men. With the newfound confidence, the two successfully cross the trench, but run into Dennis on the other side. He pulls the mustaches off and prepares to crush the pair with his giant boot that has spikes on it, but is himself stepped on by a bigger boot which belongs to the Cyclops, who takes SpongeBob and Patrick away. Then SpongeBob and Patrick wake up in a fishbowl before being placed under a heat lamp by the Cyclops, and discover that they are in fact Shell City, which is a gift shop where dried sea creatures are sold as souvenirs. Proud of having achieved their goal despite their imminent deaths, the two each shed a single tear before dying. The tears they shed end up short-circuiting the lamp, activating the emergency sprinkler system and reviving SpongeBob, Patrick, and the dried sea creatures. While the rest of the sea creatures attack the Cyclops, SpongeBob and Patrick take the crown and head to the beach, where they bring out the magical bag of winds that Mindy gave them before taking off from the Krusty Krab. But the bag of winds flies away. And not knowing how SpongeBob and Patrick are ever going to get back to Bikini Bottom, they find their answer when David Hasselhoff appears and offers them a ride home. Des catches up to them and fights the pair on Hasselhoff's back, eventually getting knocked into the sea when Hasselhoff passes underneath a catamaran. Then back at the Krusty Krab 2, Neptune arrives to execute Krabs, but SpongeBob and Patrick return with the crown just in time. Plankton drops a mind control helmet on Neptune and surrounds SpongeBob, Patrick, and Mindy with his army of slaves. SpongeBob, embracing the fact that he has accomplished so much despite being a kid, he uses the power of rock and roll to play Goofy Goober Rock. And while playing a outrageous guitar solo, he zaps the helmets off all the citizens of Bikini Bottom, including Neptune. And then Plankton is then arrested. And Neptune unfreezes Krabs, and SpongeBob is now manager of the Krusty Krab 2. And after the credits roll, an usher from the theater informs the pirates that the film is over and orders them to leave the theater. Alright, with that, let's get into the truth or square. So in this one, and you get to see the man who is all about SpongeBob, Patchy the pirate, who you might have seen quite a few times on SpongeBob. It's really Tom Kenny dressed as a pirate that I found out. In this one, he goes to Nickelodeon Studios in Hollywood, and he tries to get a hefty amount of people to join in on his TV extravaganza, including real life celebrities. He's gotten people such as Robin Williams. He got Will Ferrell, Tina Fey, LeBron James, Rosario Dawson, and Eddie Deason. Try out the Insult Comic Dog, and so many others. So what happens in this? SpongeBob wakes up one morning and realizes that the Krusty Krab is celebrating its 117th anniversary. He remembers his first visit to the Krusty Krab and tells his pet snail Gary about it. SpongeBob then leaves to go to the restaurant, but as soon as he exits his house, he bumps into the back of a long line of customers waiting to get inside. SpongeBob jumps on top of every customer in the line, eventually reaching the Krusty Krab. Mr. Krabs tells SpongeBob and Squidward that the anniversary celebration will be the perfect opportunity for Plankton to steal the Krabby Patty formula. To prevent Plankton from breaking in, Mr. Krabs has hired Patrick Star as a security guard, so he does not have to pay for a real one. Mr. Krabs with his money. SpongeBob spectacularly decorates the Krusty Krab with ketchup, toilet paper, and mustard. When he shows Patrick, Squidward, and Mr. Krabs a Krabby Patty ice sculpture that he made himself, they accidentally trapped themselves inside the freezer during an unsuccessful attempt to take the sculpture outside. Mr. Krabs remembers a way out of the freezer through the ventilation system. While finding their way through the maze of air vents, they look back at some memorable moments in their lives. Then, to get out of the air vents, SpongeBob molds Squidward, Patrick, and Mr. Krabs into a battering ram and breaks out of the shaft, only to find that all the customers have left after waiting for so long without getting any food. Mr. Krabs is heartbroken, but SpongeBob manages to summon all the customers back as he sings a song. Meanwhile, Plankton finds the perfect opportunity to steal the Krabby Patty formula, but he fails, having been caught by Mr. Krabs once again. The 11th anniversary celebration then goes ahead. Throughout the special, Patchy the pirate attempts to hold a celebration on the 10th anniversary of when he started the SpongeBob fan club, attempts to bring in SpongeBob himself. When Patchy is told SpongeBob is not coming, he vows to get him by any means necessary. He travels to Bikini Bottom, but ends up getting eaten by a whale in the process. Inside the whale, he was watching some old tapes of the show, including a theme song from Squidward, Patrick, and Mr. Krabs before the whale sneezes him out of his own blowhole, setting him flying back to the studio where he dreams of meeting SpongeBob. He wakes up and decides he will never meet his hero, but his guests assure him otherwise, causing him to faint again. Most of it, when Patchy's on there, he's trying to call multiple celebrities to see if they are interested in this opportunity, and most of them deny it. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Alright, thank you for watching.